All right, welcome to the deep dive. We have a dense stack of sources in front of us today, and they really detail some of the most crucial strategic shifts and, colossal investments that are defining Montreal right now.
They really do. This isn't just local news. It's a snapshot of a modern city trying to balance its history with its ambition and also with community needs.
That's it, exactly. And when you look through these announcements from just early November 2025, you see this dual identity.
It's like two different cities operating on two completely separate multi-billion-dollar timelines. On one hand, you have this pioneering, nimble, green innovation that's, catching the eye globally.
And on the other.
The slow, grueling task of just maintaining these gigantic, aging pieces of infrastructure that were built decades ago.
That tension is exactly what we're going to unpack for you today. So our mission here is to quickly synthesize the critical knowledge points across four main areas. You've got this innovative green and social development, then the sheer scale of generational infrastructure spending, the proven success of people-centric urban design, and finally, the city's thriving cultural pulse.
It's a lot to cover.
It is. So let's jump right in with that green core Montreal's status as really an urban agriculture powerhouse.
Yeah, and when we talk about urban agriculture, Montreal isn't just, following a trend. It's a world leader. The city has over 45 commercial urban farms.
45. And what's fascinating is the ingenuity and how they're using these spaces. We have a fantastic new example of that in Mile End.
Agriculture du Coin.
Exactly. They're setting up an aquaponic farm inside the former Bank Public restaurant on Avenue du Parc.
Which is brilliant. So for anyone who doesn't know, aquaponics is growing plants and raising fish symbiotically. It's a closed-loop system.
Right. So they're taking a defunct restaurant and turning it into a food producer, growing lettuce, edible flowers, that kind of thing.
And it highlights this mature ecosystem that entrepreneurs can now rely on. This didn't just happen overnight. You have the original pioneers, like Les Fermes Loufa.
Of course, the rooftop greenhouses.
They built the world's first commercial rooftop greenhouse here years ago. And now they're operating their fifth and largest facility at Marché Central. They basically established the blueprint.
But it's not just about successful businesses, is it? The sources show this movement is also powered by cooperative and social strength.
Absolutely. Look at La Centrale Agricole. This is the world's largest urban agriculture co-op. It links about 20 different businesses that are all promoting the circular economy.
And crucially, this is about more than just food.
It's about socioeconomic insertion. It's about food security. We're seeing initiatives like La Ferme de Rue Montreal, which operates on an IGA rooftop, and critically, projects in vulnerable areas like MHM and RDP Pet.
So these farms are teaching skills, creating jobs, and ensuring people get access to fresh produce.
That's the core mission.
Okay, so if that's the micro level of innovation, let's zoom out to a much larger project focused entirely on social renewal. The massive Couvent des Franciscains on Rosemont Boulevard.
Yeah, concrete steps are now being taken to turn that former monastery into a vital community hub.
And this project, it's led by a nonprofit, right? An OBNL called Entremise.
That's right. And they're drawing a lot of attention for their financial structure. They're using something they call lawyers solidaires.
Solidarity rents. We've heard that term, but how does that model actually work? What makes it so special?
Well, it's groundbreaking because it breaks the link between market pricing and the rent that nonprofits have to pay.
Okay.
So instead of indexing the rent to the constantly rising real estate market, the rent is indexed to the revenue or the capacity of the organization in that space.
Ah, so it ensures permanent affordability.
Exactly. It insulates these vital social services from the pressures of commercial real estate.
And to do that, you need major public buy-in, major investment.
Precisely. They secured a massive injection of public capital, an initial $450,000 from the city, topped by a really substantial $4 million commitment from the government of Quebec.
But there's a catch, right?
There is. This is a really important point for you to remember. This specific social redevelopment is conditional on a much larger project by Groupe Prevel to build 700 new housing units nearby.
Including some social housing.
Yes, including a crucial 150 dedicated social housing units. So it's a strategic trade-off.
Yeah.
A major developer gets to build, but on the condition that they enable this community anchor.
So what will the Couvent actually offer once it's all done?
It's structured around 4 essential axes. You'll have a food and physical activity hub. There will be workshops for socio-professional insertion, which includes French language training Francisization. Then there's a community health center, and maybe most immediately impactful, 35 temporary housing rooms for short-term, supported stays of, say, 1 to 6 months.
So real multi-purpose social infrastructure.
That's the goal.
That's a perfect segue because now we move from the millions of dollars for social infrastructure to the monumental, multi-billion-dollar costs of physical infrastructure. Let's talk about the A40, the Metropolitan Highway.
This is the perfect illustration of that dual timeline we mentioned at the top. The A40 is essential. You can't get around it. It carries 190,000 vehicles every day,
Every single day.
and 13% of that is heavy commercial vehicles. It simply cannot fail. But the scale of the cost to just repair it is staggering.
How staggering are we talking?
Well, the initial estimates for repairing just the 11.4 kilometers of elevated structure are consistently reported as a few $1 billion.
A few billions.
Yeah, and to really get the gravity of that, you have to put it next to other massive projects. The LaFontaine Tunnel repair is costing $2.79 billion. The new Ilo-Tort Bridge, $2.3 billion.
The Ville-Marie and Vigor tunnels.
It's another $2.05 billion. These aren't just road projects. They are multi-generational expenditures that just consume enormous amounts of public capital.
So when a city is forced to spend billions just to keep existing concrete from falling down, it forces a pretty profound philosophical debate, doesn't it?
It does, and this is the core question right now. When you commit billions to maintenance, should you just repair it for traffic durability? Or should this be seen as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for, idée de grandeur, grand ideas?
Tell us more about those grand ideas. What would that actually look like?
Well, it's the difference between maintenance and genuine transformation. It means demanding aesthetics, demanding urban integration. For example, can we use this project to significantly reduce noise pollution for the neighborhoods right next to it?
Okay.
Can we integrate architectural features, maybe inspired by something like the colorful glass envelope of the Palais des Congrès? Can we use the air rights underneath it for community spaces?
So it's asking whether we're just paying the debt of the past or actually investing in the city of the future.
That's the distinction, exactly.
And what's the status of the A40 work? It seems like it's going to be a long process.
A very long road ahead. The eastern sector won't even start until the work on the LaFontaine Tunnel is finished. And the western sector is still firmly in the study phase. This commitment is going to dominate infrastructure planning for years.
No, contrast that staggering highway spend with a really focused community investment, like the new $39.8 million federal commitment for the Montreal Nord Sports Complex.
It's a perfect counterpoint. It's a fraction of the cost, but it represents this essential investment in social capital, in human potential.
And this is going on the old Gara Arena site, right? Opening around 2028.
That's the plan. And it'll have 2 pools, a double gym, a gymnastics area, a training room, a whole suite of facilities.
So what makes this so socioeconomically vital for a neighborhood like Montreal Nord?
Because Montreal Nord has historically been underserved in infrastructure, but has always produced incredible talent, often despite difficult conditions.
You're talking about local heroes.
Yeah, I mean, NBA players Joel Anthony and Lugan Stort, or the 1976 Olympian Claude Frayne. This new complex is about creating structured, safe spaces to nurture that talent, and, just as importantly, giving the community a vital space of belonging.
It's investing $40 million directly into the next generation.
Precisely.
Let's shift now to how people are successfully living and moving in the city center. We have some really clear data showing the success of pedestrianization, particularly on Rue Saint-Catherine.
Yeah, the statistical proof is it's overwhelming. It really validates the city's approach. Saint-Catherine-Ost, in the Quartier des Spectacles, recorded an average of 33,000 daily passages between mid-May and the end of September this year.
33,000 daily passages. What does that mean in real terms? I mean, how does that compare?
It represents a massive growth in usage. That's a significant jump from the 25,000 daily passages recorded just the year before, in 2024.
Wow. So it shows that when you dedicate space back to people,
They use it, and they feel safer doing so. Surveys confirm an 89% appreciation rate, and people report an improved feeling of security.
is there any pushback from businesses worried about losing car traffic?
Well, while the data shows success, the city is moving to solidify the economic viability by anchoring these spaces permanently. Yeah. They're creating new fixed public squares like Place McGill and Place Concordia.
So they become 247 destinations, not just summer things.
That's the idea, to create a density of human activity that sustains retail and culture all year round.
And if you don't want to walk, cycling is proving to be an unparalleled success story. The Réseau Express Vélo, the RV on Saint-Denis, has been a game changer.
It is arguably one of the biggest North American success stories in dedicated cycling infrastructure. The 8.7-kilometer corridor registered over 1.5 million passages in 2023.
1.5 million passages.
Yes, that makes it Montreal's most frequent bike path. And when you compare that volume to new infrastructure in much larger cities, the RV really stands out.
It shows that if you make cycling safe and efficient, it becomes a form of mass transit.
A preferred mode of mass transit. And its success isn't isolated. It's a network effect. You look at the other major routes, Barrie, Rachel, Maisonneuve, the path from the South Shore, they all contribute to this massive overall demand.
It's not a niche movement anymore.
No, it's mass transit infrastructure that is performing exceptionally well.
Finally, let's wrap up our deep dive with a look at the cultural pulse right now. The cultural calendar for November is just thriving.
The variety this month really showcases the city's depth. You have major cultural flagships like the Festival du Monde Arabe, which is such a vital celebration of the Arab community's contribution to the city.
And for film lovers, Cinemania.
Yeah, which acts as this fantastic international bridge. It showcases Francophone cinema, but subtitled in English so it's accessible. And this year, there's a spotlight on Moroccan production with 16 features.
That's a deep focus.
It is. It's that kind of detailed international engagement that distinguishes a truly global cultural hub.
And we absolutely have to mention the culinary draw, MT-Latable.
A key economic driver for restaurants. You have 150 places offering fixed-price menus, drawing everyone out before the deep winter sets in.
And there's also an exciting new cultural launch this month, too.
Yes, which shows the city is investing in its future audiences. The launch of La Mèche Courte. It's an international festival dedicated exclusively to living arts for young audiences.
Okay.
So kids from 2 to 17.
That's a great initiative.
It's an ambitious project held across multiple symbolic venues, ensuring artistic discovery is central to the city's plan for young people.
And all of this is happening as the city starts to transition into the holiday season.
That transformation is already underway. You can see the public markets Jean Talon Atwater turning into these Grand Marché de Noël settings. Plus, you have the return of luminotherapy and the illuminations in Old Montreal.
So we've navigated a massive spectrum today. We started with the precision of an aquaponic farm and the ingenuity of that solidarity rents model.
Then we wrestled with the scale of a multi-billion-dollar highway repair and contrasted it with a strategic, $40 million investment in future athletes.
We saw the tangible, documented success of active transport, the RV on Saint-Denis, and the thriving pedestrian life on St. Catherine.
The synthesis is clear. The city is juggling two massive priorities. It has to pay the generational, multi-billion-dollar debt of maintaining historic road assets,
while at the same time proving it can accelerate these social and active transport successes that cost far less but yield these immense returns.
Exactly.
Which brings us to our final provocative thought for you to explore. If the data conclusively proves high demand in both spheres, the A40 is essential for 190,000 vehicles daily, and the Révis Saint-Denis sees 1.5 million passages annually, what specific, sustainable new model, beyond just repairing or rebuilding, must cities like Montreal pioneer to simultaneously manage those huge road assets while ensuring we rapidly accelerate the funding for these proven social and active transport successes?
What does that integrated solution actually look like?
Yeah.
That complex integration is the design challenge of our time.
Indeed. We'll leave that with you. Thanks for diving deep with us.